Get ready with me while we talk about my 113-pound weight loss. Hi, beautiful friends. I'm Elizabeth, Countess of Shopping. I have lost over 113 pounds the last almost 3 years, and I've been on Zepbound, Mounjaro, and GLP1 plus GIP. It's the Tirzepatide compound. And on today's episode, I want to talk about my weigh-in for this week. I lost a pound. By the way, everything I'm going to be using today, I will link it down in the description link below for Amazon. And if you see stickers over here on YouTube, you can shop directly from the websites or through Amazon. So this is, by the way, the Alliston eye cream. And I've switched up my skincare routine just a smidge. So this week I lost a pound. Many of you have seen my weigh-ins over the last almost 3 years. In January, it will almost be 3 years. I have been a slow turtle. And I always say turtles win the race. You hear on social media so much about people who are like, I lost 100 pounds in 20 weeks. That was not me. That has not been my story. That is not me at all. Next, I'm gonna do the Alliston skincare or the Pro Mineral sunscreen, because we need to put sunscreen all over our face. I weighed in this week, and I knew it was accumulation because last week, what was it? I lost like 2 ounces. I have moved a lot. I went to New York City with my son, and we walked so much. It was 7.5 miles. My legs were about ready to fall off. It was a precursor to what's coming with Disney. I'm like, I am so tired. My legs are so sore. I need to step it up. Wilma's hairs are like all over my hands. There's dog fur all over my fingers. And so with the weigh-in, the main things I want to talk about on today's weigh-in is it's not about the scale. It's awesome that I lost a pound, but more so for my weigh-ins moving forward, I said in the last video, and I'll say it again, are not really about the weigh-in. That really doesn't matter if you're on a GLP1 medication like Wegovy, Zepbound, Mounjaro, semaglutide, Tirzepatide compound. I am on the Tirzepatide compound, which is GLP1 plus GIP. And it's not about the scale anymore. Really, there's so many other bigger factors, which is why I would encourage you to get a scale that has more metrics involved, more data involved, like muscle mass, your lean muscle rate, for example. What is that trending week over week? What is your fat percentage trending week over week? Next, I'm going to use some of my Laniege lip balm. Those numbers matter a heck of a lot more for me than the scale, because I have so much loose skin, y'all. I have so much loose skin on my stomach and on my thighs. And I know a lot of that weight when I do eventually, it's going to take 1.5 years to get that surgery, by the way. I've talked about that before in my plastic surgery video. Next up, I'm going to try the new Fenty Beauty. It's new for me. It's not new, but it's their foundation. And I'm going to use the Fenty Beauty in 170. So for me, it's about weight training. It's about building muscle. It's more about doing that than what the scale is telling me. If you are using only the scale, I worry for you very much, because there's a point that I hit and that you're going to hit too, of where you're like, okay, it's about the lean muscle mass. It's about the muscle that I'm building. There's so much contingent upon that lean muscle mass that happens when we lose a substantial amount of weight. For me, it's over 113 pounds now. Losing that much weight, I've lost muscle too. I can see it in my booty. My booty is like a flapjack pancake. Hello, IHOP's calling, it's your booty. And muscle mass loss is one of those things that I continuously keep going back to, because I can literally see how much it's affected me. I am not strong as I had thought I was. And I think that's one of the big things I want to talk about on today's weigh-in is it's one thing to lose weight, and then it's another to be strong. And I am strong. I like that is because of weight training and weightlifting. Where I'm having issues is I need to keep going and progressing. I don't think I'm lifting as much as I could be lifting, and I'm definitely not lifting as often as I would like to be. Just for this pocket, the way that my business works is I have peak seasons and then I have less peak seasons. And so right now I'm in a peak season of where I am working a tremendous amount, which is totally normal for me right now. I use the Tarte Beauty Concealer. And so that's inhibiting my progress. I am sabotaging myself in that sense, and I fully recognize it. And so while I celebrate today's video, yay! I think if you can see how far I've come from this Get Ready With Me from almost 3 years ago, it's crazy how different I am as a human being. Like, my life has dramatically changed as a result of GLP1, and I am so incredibly grateful for that. I'm kind of obsessed with this Fenty Beauty Foundation. That looks good. I'm not done yet. Don't criticize yet. I'm not done. I can tell it's the beginning. It's the beginning. They're taking shape. I think one of the other things from this week's weigh-in that I noticed, I was not eating as many vegetables this week because I was traveling some. I was with my son, we went to New York City, and I wanted my kid to have a good time. So we had like nachos, and I'm so glad we had nachos. Like that was so fun to be able to have nachos and things like that. But like just getting back to eating healthy. My husband was so sweet. I had today a protein shake. He's been bringing me protein shakes and a bowl of oatmeal with fruit in it. So I'm getting my protein in, I'm getting my fiber in. If you haven't seen my videos talking about how important fiber and protein are, and of course, like the calorie range too, of making sure I'm not in a calorie deficit anymore, because I'm basically in maintenance mode, which is different. And you can eat more calories than Zepbound weight loss or Tirzepatide weight loss. And so that is really, really exciting that I can eat a little bit more. So I'm managing that as I go through, like, how much can I have? I'm gonna use the Chanel. I'm trying to use this out. I like it, but I don't know if I really honestly like the L'Oreal palette a lot. This is nice, but I'm trying to use it out. So for my contour. So I'm super happy with my weigh-in, super not happy with my input on it, if that makes sense. I don't feel like my food choices were the absolute best that they could have been this week. They definitely could have been better, but I was traveling, so there's grace for that too. This is royal living meeting real life. Y'all know from my Costco food hauls that I do that we do eat processed foods. If you don't like eating processed foods, that's fine, you do you. For me, that makes more sense than ordering like $100 DoorDash orders that is basically processed food as well. So they're getting it out of a Cisco bag. Like if you're eating out, unless it's like Chipotle, you know what I mean? Like with their fresh chopped vegetables and stuff like that. I have Wilma's dog hairs. I'm sitting and I realized, and it's all over my face right now. Can you guys see that? White dog, Great Pyrenees dog furs are everywhere. All right, we're gonna try to do a little contouring here with my nose. There's dog fur everywhere. Speaking of which, dog walks. You guys know I love walking. I always recommend walking. I always say get your walks on. Walks are super important for me in addition to lifting. And I've walked a ton. So that was a victory, and I can tell on my Fitbit, that was a victory. One of the things I noticed about this week with my weigh-in that I want to work on for this week, because we always talk about what went well, taking an inventory for the week weigh-in. What went well? What do I need to work on? What I need to work on is relaxing a little bit more. I have been having really bad nightmares recently. I think just the state of the world right now. I live in Virginia. Obviously what's going on in the world we live in rural Virginia, but we're near Northern Virginia. I have a lot of Virginia friends. What's happening in the world is affecting my mindset. And I wish I wouldn't let it affect my mindset, but it is. I had a horrible nightmare. It's the last thing I had dreamt before I woke up. And so I'm realizing that is impacting my health. And I'm really going to work on more meditation this week if you are feeling what's happening in the world and it's affecting you, for me, meditation is going to come into big play for me. I really do think that's going to help my weight loss and centering to make sure I'm staying on track with doing what I need to be doing for my health. When I get stressed out, I will cut myself out of the equation. I'll take care of other people, but I will not work out. I won't make healthy food choices. Hence the reason my sweet husband is bringing me up some food to make sure that I am making healthy food choices. I'm really full. So that's great news. That's exciting that I'm really full. And so I'm not feeling the need to like binge eat because I really can't. But I think the biggest thing, using my BK brushes, I'm obsessed with these. I think one of the biggest things is, what is my input? What is my input? It doesn't really matter about the scale right now. And you may say, Elizabeth, I thought you were basically in maintenance. I basically am. I could technically, with my BMI at such a large range, because I'm almost 6 feet tall, lose more weight, and it's still okay. It would still be within range. But again, I go back to the body recomposition I'm gonna do. I grabbed the wrong thing. I need some neck cream. We're gonna put some neck cream on this neck in a minute. We'll come back and do that. So I think the biggest thing for me now is, it's really not about the weight loss. It's focusing in on, this is the Fenty, is it the Fenty lip liner? Yeah, it's Fenty Beauty lip liner. I'm not sure what color it is though. I'll link it. Making sure that I'm focusing on that muscle mass loss and trying to really work on building muscle, because that's the other big thing, is muscle is going to burn more than me trying to like continuously chase the cardio. Cardio is important, don't get me wrong, it absolutely is important. But now if it's the choice between, I've got this pocket of time, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna use the new Fenty Beauty. These are their holiday packs. I'm like so excited about it. I'm not sure which one to pick. I'm gonna try this one. Hopefully that's not a mistake. We'll see if that's a good color or not. Oh, but first I'm gonna do L'Oreal lipstick. I need my lip balm, a little nude lippy. I think the biggest thing is, what am I doing for my output to gain the muscle? That's a bigger question for me. Wow, my makeup looks kind of like a clown right now. Don't worry, we're gonna blend. We are going to blend, don't worry, we are going to blend. But like, seeing this motivates me. That's like, let's keep doing the dang thing. Let's keep moving, let's keep grooving. Like, don't stop, you know? Because in a year from now, by focusing in on these things, I think that is where I'm gonna be so much further along than a lot of people. Not that I'm comparing myself to other people, because I'm definitely not, but where I think my personal best, because that's what matters, and I'm only competing with myself, is, am I stronger? Am I stronger? And so in terms of like the data, that's really, really important to me, of knowing if I'm stronger or not, because I don't want to be weak. And I recognized that when I was in New York City, I'm not as strong as I think I am. I think I'm really strong. And I definitely am a lot stronger than I've ever been in my entire life. But I definitely, how tired I was. And I learned in New York City, there's really nowhere to sit. Like the benches, there was unfortunately like a lot of homeless people, and it was so sad. So there really wasn't very many places to sit, which forced me to walk and walk and walk and walk and keep up with my 10-year-old, which is amazing. Like, that's what I want to do. But literally I was like, let's go to a bistro, which we walked like a mile from where we were to just go sit down. I'm like, I will pay whatever at this moment just to go sit down, because mom needs a little break here. Mom needs a little, because it was like my heart rate, I can see on my Fitbit, which I appreciate. I can see my heart rate monitor. I'm like, I am pumping here a lot of, like, my heart was really beating fast walking that much, which is a good thing. Like, it's a good thing. But I realized I have way more to go than I thought I did. And that's somewhat, in some ways, like, that's amazing. I just thought I was a lot further along than where I am. And then I just need to keep going. Like, it's not like dissing myself type thing. It's I just need to keep going, because I think in 6 months, literally, not to be melodramatic, but my whole life can change, and your whole life can change too, by just focusing on weight training. It makes such a big difference. And that's where I'm like so motivated to keep going. Do you guys have that, where you're just like, I'm jazzed? I can see a little bit of like the tunnel coming through, of like more muscles coming in. My stretch marks are there. My loose skin is there. I realized also, by the way, I've been using more body care and taking care of my skin, like my body skin, like my stomach, my legs, my thighs. I used to ignore that, truth be told, and I've been taking more care of that. And that has been very eye-opening to me. Yeah, eye-opening. It's been very eye-opening to me how much my body is basically completely covered in stretch marks. And you guys know, and I've told you guys this before, with Zepbound pens and Mounjaro pens, they tell you on the box, they're like, don't put the injection into scars. Well, my stretch marks are all white scars now. Like, it's all scarage. It looks like little spider webs everywhere. But I'm like, it's my tiger stripes. Your girl has earned those tiger stripes with 2 pregnancies, 2 babies in there, gaining and losing over 1,000 pounds over the course of my life. Do you guys have that, where you're like, I think I've gained and lost over 1,000 pounds in the course of my life? I don't have factual evidence. You guys know I'm required to be factually accurate on that. And I don't have the data to prove that that's true, but I really do think it is. I think I've gained and lost over 1,000 pounds over the course of my life. Like, I have been a professional dieter until GLP1 medication. And that's why I'm like, what is my input? Not my output, because my output does not matter. I mean, it does matter. That's not, let me be honest. It does matter. I do care. But what really should be the big point with everything is, what am I doing? And I feel like I did a good job this week. I feel like I did a really good job this week in managing things in lieu of traveling and things like that, and just being in busy season. And I know a lot of you guys are also in busy season too, that I'm like speaking to the choir here. But this week I really want to focus in on making sure I'm walking and making sure I'm lifting. And of course, balancing all of that while staying with calories and things like that can be a little overwhelming. And I'm taking it back to basics this week. I think is the biggest thing that I really want to hit home and focus in on. is basics, because when I make it too complicated for myself, do you guys have this? Then I get overwhelmed and then I stop doing everything. I'm just like, oh, forget it. I'm like an all or nothing person. And so I really want to focus in on little baby steps. I did, and I'm really proud of myself. If you guys saw the video where I talked about exercise snacks, I did focus in on that this week. And that was awesome for me. That was awesome. I think when you do have a busy schedule and you can control just doing like 2 to 5 minute mega bursts of jumping jacks or push-ups or whatever. We had a push-up party one night. My son actually suggested, I thought it was the cutest thing. I was like, I'd love to do a push-up party. My husband joined in too, and of course I lost. Compared to my son and my hot husband, I was a wiggling, but that's okay. Like the fact that we just did that, I thought was really, really cool in terms of trying to all make us stronger, and for the family, like that just made me really happy that my son had suggested that in terms of staying fit and being conscious of that. Okay, let's move over to food stuff. So I had mentioned earlier about like food and things like that. We eat out. There's this vein right here, and I'm like, what? You are new. I like Googled it. I was like, am I having a brain aneurysm? Apparently veins popping out are like, when you have weight loss, is apparently very normal. So apparently my vein popping out is normal. So food, I was going through and we are trying to eat. I was going to do a Costco haul, and my husband's like, let's really work this week on eating in, which is very hard for me. It is old food. Do you guys have this? I feel very weird saying this, but I'm going to say it because probably other people who've weighed over 300 pounds probably feel this way too. But one of the biggest things for me is like the food component of having enough food, not having a lack of food. And so my husband being like, don't order groceries this week. We're trying to eat what we have, which we have a ton of food. Like we just need to eat out the freezer. We need to eat out the pantries. Like let's get fresh fruits and vegetables, but we really don't need to get anything else from Costco. Let's eat out what we have. And I was like, it was triggering for me. Have you guys had that before? Clearly it's something else that I need to work on in terms of my healing that I'll talk about with my therapist later this week. It was eye-opening that was my reaction. It was like, oh, why am I getting so nervous about that? Like I don't need to be nervous about our food situation. Like, but it was interesting to me, and I noticed it that like I had such a reaction. I'm using the Tarte mascara. I had such a reaction to it. It's like, okay, we have enough food. This is not a big deal. But I thought it was interesting 3 years into this that I still have a reaction over food or not having enough, or and I used to have that when I would talk about like being in a calorie deficit. It would literally like give me like an intestinal stomachache thinking about like not having enough food, of like, what am I going to do if I don't have enough food? And so that popped up. I was like, interesting. Just noticing, taking notes, something else, more healing along this journey, even 3 years in, that there's more healing to do. And I think that that's what with GLP1 people, some people are on for just, they need to lose, 10, 20 pounds or whatever. For me, that's not the case. It was clearly well over 100 pounds I needed to lose from GLP1 medication. And so stuff is still coming up. And so if you're experiencing that, I want to make that normal, that going from a body for decades that was morbidly obese to now being on this much thinner frame, and a thinner frame that is also much stronger. Like there's an adjustment period, and I'm still unraveling that adjustment period. And that's okay. If you're going through the same thing too, like it's okay. It's okay. And if it's taking you longer to hit your goals also, that is also okay. I'm going to use the L'Oreal. The setting spray is amazing. Next, I'm going to use the new Fenty Hair. This one's one of their holiday box sets, the heat protectant and the reparative leave-in conditioner. I've got some split ends that I'm excited to try this with. So what are we focusing in on for this week? Well, the food choice, again, we're getting ready to go on vacation in a little bit. And so I really want to hit it hard in terms of my calorie. That smells good. And in terms of my calorie deficit, I really want to be focused in on that this week, because we'll leave for vacation and I won't be. When you guys know, well, maybe you don't know if you're new, when I travel, I like to make sure I'm in, I don't know how much of this to use. We're just going to use a little bit. That smells good. When I travel for vacations, not for like work travel, but vacation travel, I definitely try to like, I don't know why I keep saying like, maybe it's the hair. No, I don't know. I try to focus in on high protein and eating vegetables. My husband and I both said for our upcoming vacation, the intention and plan is to have really healthy lunches for both of us. Shark sent me this. Thanks, Shark. It's the new Glossi 2-in-1 heating tool. So we're gonna try that. We're gonna unbox her here and see how it makes my hair. I really did like that quite a bit, actually. That was nice. I didn't realize it had this ceramic part on it to make it flat, like a flat iron, and then also the bristles to make it really, really dry. But besties, I am pumped about our vacation, having a high protein, fiber focused, mainly like a salad with meat on top. That's my sole thing that I'm gonna do on vacation. And then the rest of the time I'm gonna eat delicious food and enjoy my vacation. And working so hard recently, we will be walking a ton. And so this week I'm like, I have got to prep a little bit more for that walking that I'm gonna do, or I'm gonna be hurting. I'm gonna be hurting badly. So that's my big focus, taking stock on this week's weigh-in. I'm super, super happy that I lost a pound, more happy with the data and what it's. So from a week ago, my body fat percentage is down 0.6%, which blows my mind. Like more than 0.5% in 2 weeks. I'm like super stoked about that. My BMR, my basal metabolic rate, is actually like 10 calories. I'm not quite sure that's totally accurate, but I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take that big. And to me, I care less about the scale number and more about the data. So lean mass, it's 0.3 pounds up in 2 weeks, like 15 days. That's awesome. That means I've gained muscle, is how I'm interpreting what lean mass rate is. My subcutaneous fat mass is down 1 full pound in 15 days. I feel like that's good. I gotta go look up that number if that means that it's good or bad. I think that means that's good. That I know is the top layer of fat because that's what we inject our Mounjaro and Zepbound into. Skeletal muscle mass is up 4 pounds. I don't know if that's accurate or a lot. That seems like a lot to me, but skeletal muscle mass, I'm curious. I gotta deep dive in all of this of what these pieces mean. And which I'll do in another video. But I think even just having the data, if you're like, I will deal with that later, of what that means later, at least just making sure a track number grows, that you're getting the data, is very important. And my basal muscle rate, my BMR, it was actually 8 calories, not 10, to be factually accurate, and making sure that I'm being factually accurate on that piece. And my body cell mass over the last 15 days went up 4 pounds. I'm looking into that. I feel like either that number is off, which can happen sometimes with scales. The scale that I'm using is Hume. You can use my discount code in the description. I also have ones on Amazon. You don't have to buy a really expensive scale. Or I like having both I like having both so I can analyze both readings as well. And I have some on my Amazon list too that I absolutely love as well. And those all sync together too with like my smart tape measurer and also my, it's not my Oura ring, but it's akin to that. I'm just not wearing it right now because I'm really focusing on my Fitbit. But the numbers look really good, like in terms besides just weight loss. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I really enjoy focusing in on now instead of the scale. Will I continue to do my weigh-ins? Of course. Now, many of you are asking about my Tirzepatide journey. I was on GLP1 plus GIP. I left it out of the refrigerator. And so I already shared this, so if you missed that video, go back and watch all my old videos, but was talking in there about, I left it out for 4 days and I wasn't sure. I needed to schedule a consult. My telehealth company was like, you need to schedule a consult to talk to your healthcare provider to get, to find out or whatever. And I was like, I don't have time. So I ended up just throwing it away. And lesson learned from going from Zepbound pen and Mounjaro pen, you just throw out the pens when you're done. You don't have to worry about that extra step, which sounds so basic and it was dumb of me. Like I fully admit that that was my error. And so I've been on my not old, but the Zepbound pens that I still have remaining, which stinks. So I'm back on, I got the GLP1 plus GIP, which is Tirzepatide compound, just in the mail. So that will be for this week's upcoming shot. To give context, did I notice a difference at all when I had the 1 week with it? No, really, it felt the same. Weight loss was the same. It was all the same. Same. So giving context on that, I love Join Fridays. Use the discount code QUEEN. And so if you're looking like I did to switch over from brand name over to GLP1 plus GIP, that has been an awesome It's been awesome for me. So my sweet friends, our emoji of the day today is pineapple. We're going to be pineapple princesses and princes if you're a prince. Pineapple. And I do emojis of the day to get to know you better because I care. It's an easy way for us to like, you just throw out the comment. I know that you've made it this far. And if you made it this far, you're a bestie. So I am really glad you're here with me on these day by day, week by week of us improving our lives. And I love hearing all of your successes. I want to know down in the comments, what is your success this week too? If you had a great weigh-in, if you didn't have a great weigh-in, like make sure you're in my free encouragement group. You don't have to do this by yourself. The count has worked so hard on our group, particularly with our badges. If you have not updated your badge with your weigh-in, go do it. It's an easy way to get recognized. And I'll have that in an upcoming video for you too. If for some reason you didn't call your name in one of the videos about the weigh-in with the badges, please correct me. I would love to make sure it's corrected for this upcoming month. My sweet friends, I love you guys so super much. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and count us a shopping, count my blessings because life is delicious. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Have a great day.